This may yet be the most important video that you would watch today. And so I want you to pay attention to everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video, because it will have a direct bearing on the outcomes of your life. As you prepare to go to bed tonight, right? I don't know, you may be watching this in the morning, but I want to say this, that every night when you go to bed, do not carry complaints from the day to bed. Do not carry the hurts, don't carry the weight of the day to bed. Declutter your mind before you sleep. And that is why sometimes the last thing you hear before you go to sleep is very important. Watch what you listen to. Watch what you watch. Perhaps you need to spend less time on social media in the moments before you go to bed. Do not drift to sleep with doubt, but with precision in your thought that things are going to turn out well for you. Repeat words and thoughts. Sometimes when you're going to sleep, you can be thinking about certain things. So you can choose what you think about. And, repeat thoughts, repeat words, repeat, things that put you in command before you go to bed. Because how you go to bed sometimes will determine the things you dream about. The Bible says, in the multitude of busyness, dreams arise. You have also multiples of dreams. So, what you repeat, here's a principle. What you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you become. What you become, you behave. Remember, what you believe, what you repeat, you will believe. What you believe, you will become. What you become, you will behave. And guess what? Whatever you have become that determines your conduct is exactly what your world will reflect back to you. So whatever reflection you see that to the environment, the society is giving back to you is a representation of the thoughts that you sent into that environment as a result of the things that you have also believed. If you repeat fear regularly, if you constantly meditate on fear and you repeat words of fear, guess what? You will birth discouragement. But if you repeat words of affirmation, words of possibilities, words that tell you that in God you are able, you have capacity, guess what? Your outcomes will reflect success, they will reflect possibilities, and even if you have challenges, they are much more easily overcome because there's a mindset that thinks possibilities rather than impossibilities. We rise by the daily conditioning of our mind. Or shall I put it in another way? We rise or fall by the daily conditioning of our mind. There is a law that is, called the law of, it's called the law of cosmic habit force. Now, I want you to understand, this is not New Age. This is simply principles of creation. There are things that God has put in creation that keep creation in order, that structure creation. They don't respect personalities. These principles, these laws don't respect your religion. They don't respect your race. They don't respect, where you live. They're universal laws that govern creation. And one of it has been defined as the law of cosmic habit force. In other words, life only reflects your dominant thoughts to you. Life will do what? Will reflect your dominant thoughts to you. If you keep having doubts about everything, when God suggests an idea to you, you always have this doubt: can I do it? Should I do it? Would I be able to do it? Can I get help? Guess what? You will see doubts in every opportunity that comes your way. When opportunities come your way, no matter how easy, no matter how simple, no matter how evident they are, you will doubt them. If you constantly meditate on fear, discouragement will come whenever you want to approach any venture. And if you speak words of faith and words of possibilities, guess what? The possibilities will find themselves and gravitate towards you, all right, until they would literally converge in order to empower you. And if you think about wealth, you attract wonderful ideas that can produce wealth. So, money or wealth is a magnet. It has a way of being attracted to people who can understand how to prepare their minds for it, how to be rich in their minds before they even have a feeling of money in their bank account or in their pockets. What you rehearse, you will repeat. Listen, whatever you rehearse, you will repeat. What you repeat, you will install. What you install, you will become. What you become, you'll behave. So your outer world is the harvest, very precise harvest of your inner thoughts. I'll say that again. Your outer world is a reflection, is a harvest, very faithful harvest of your inner thoughts garden. The garden of your thoughts. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant in it is what grows. So it is a function of how well you cultivate it. Most people are not very intentional about life. One of my books talks about, the title of one of my books is Living Intentionally. Living intentionally. And if you want to know how to design your life to live intentionally, where every day of your life you're very intentional, very deliberate, you know exactly what you're going to do during the day, you don't end the day asking yourself, what did I accomplish today? I'm going to put a link below in the comment section on how you can access that book. Now, a lot of people are not very intentional about their lives, and at the end of the day, they start asking themselves, why am I poor? Why am I like this? Why am I broke? Why don't I have money? Why do I live from paycheck to paycheck? Why don't I have savings? Now, the answer is very simple. So simple, you would almost think you will flip when I tell you. And I'm going to tell you. The answer is your dominant thoughts about money. Your thoughts over many years, over a period of many years, about money. Yeah. Now, your money conversations become your financial reality. What are the things you say about money? It's not for everybody. Not everybody can be rich. Who can have that kind of money? When you hear a particular figure, your head is about to burst, and you're wondering, no, it's not. It's in this kind of economy. Who can make that money legitimately? How can anybody? The more you have those conversations around money, guess what? Money is energy, and it is either attracted to you, or it is or you repel it. Either you attract it or you repel it. So there are not enough sermons. Nobody can preach a sermon that will undo what habit has installed. I'll say that again. No pastor can preach a sermon that will undo what habit installed. So if you want to undo a habit, you will have to literally uninstall the software by, putting another habit, a superior habit to replace. So habits are displaced by, by I don't know whether you want to call substitution or replacement. You have to develop another set of habits in order to knock out a particular set of habits that may be holding you back. What makes anything permanent in your life is the inner belief and the repeated command that you give to your brain, that you give to your system, and we call it habit. That's why somebody said we're all creatures of habit. Okay? So if you have not built the inner, your inner castle, if you have not built the castle on the inside of you, the world will never allow you to build it, on the outside. I'll say that again. If you have never built the inner castle, the world will not allow you to build the outer one. So what do you need to do today? Reconfigure your hard drive. Reconfigure the hard drive. And what is the hard drive of your life? It's your mind. Your mind. Your personality needs to be reconfigured. The architecture of your personality must be reconfigured if you're going to make a change in whatever thing you do or whatever outcomes you desire. Don't install fear. Don't install doubt. Don't install vague decisions and then start wondering why lack is constantly pursuing you. If you're a Christian, you have the mind of Christ. And the mind of Christ will help you to install faith, to install courage, to install boldness, to install wealth, to install capacity, to install abundance, to install, meaningful relationships. Those are things you begin to install. Those are the new software that you begin to install into your hard drive. Your mind must become your sacred space that you guard with all diligence. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, because from out of it proceeds the issues of life. Make sure, determine, be a very good gateman. Determine the thing that must not enter and that will not enter. So, you look at the Bible. You see the life of Jesus. You see people like Apostle Paul. You see people like Peter. And in our contemporary history, you see people like Andrew Carnegie in America. People like Thomas Edison. People who have over the years shaped the course of history, even at a time when there was no internet. They did so because of resolute focus on industry, on service, on power, on people united in purpose. They did it because their faith became stronger than their opposition. Do not tolerate ideas that negate your vision. That's one thing you must learn. Never tolerate ideas that negate your vision. Number three, do not tolerate negative conversations around you. Don't contribute to evil conversations. Don't contribute to conversations that disempower, that discourage, that deflate your enthusiasm. Detach yourself from such conversations. Detach yourself, number 4, from weak associations that don't empower you. You can be friends to anybody. However, when it comes to the issues of destiny, you have to learn how to find partners on the journey who make the journey worthwhile because they are also traveling in your direction. Number 5, do not accept lack or failure as a final result or a final verdict. And number 6, see wealth as a duty. Now, somebody may say, oh, look at him. These pastors are always talking about money. No. If you understand the purpose of money, money will serve you. You will not serve money. You will use money to serve people. That is the purpose of God. Money is a tool. It's a vehicle to empower, to facilitate, to fast track, to accelerate service. So if you do not, listen, let's break it down. How many poor people do you see who are great philanthropists? So because philanthropy, for it to be effective, requires resources. So don't ever think that by being wealthy, you will lose your capacity for spirituality. No. So what do? See wealth as a duty. See it as a kingdom duty, a kingdom assignment, a kingdom endowment that you need to have in order to fulfill kingdom assignment. If you can make these disciplines that I have identified your daily emoji, your character, your conduct, your daily habit, what you will find is that your identity, your personality begins to attract fortune. And if you move away from these things, these principles, your personality begins to repel favor, begins to repel fortunes. My prayer for you this week is that you will you'll become a magnet for everything that God has provided for you, that everything that God has ordained for you to have in order to honor Him and serve people in your generation, you will contract them. And they will come to you, they will flow in your direction. People will gravitate towards you. The energy that you radiate will be positive, it will be attractive, it will bring resources. As I said, there is a level of energy that you manifest that moves money away from you. And there's a type of energy that you manifest that attracts money to you. Same thing, that attracts people, that attracts opportunities. There's energy around you that you exude, and people look at you and say, they see an opportunity and they don't even bother to mention it to you because your attitude, the way your energy, the kind of positive, the kind of vibes, not positive right now, the kind of vibes, the kind of energy that is coming out of you is very toxic. And so nobody wants to touch you. Nobody wants to give you anything of value to do. Today, watch your thoughts, watch your words, watch your actions, watch your associations, and safeguard your future.